Welcome to Blowing Donald's Trumpet. This channel is your go-to source for a satirical look at the extremely bold, often brash, somewhat genius, and sometimes baffling moves of the 47th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump. Join us as we dive deep and laugh hard at the daily twists and turns in American politics, economics, national security, international affairs, and the crusade against the woke mind virus, and the cultural shakeups that come with it. Expect sharp wit, biting commentary, and more than a few laughs as we examine Trump's America with a satirical twist. Whether you're a fan, a skeptic, or just in it for the entertainment, Blowing Donald's Trumpet is here to keep you informed and entertained as we navigate the wild world of politics under President Trump's leadership. While this channel may have a little fun with satire, don't be fooled, we're 100% Team Trump. We're ready to cheer on America's 47th president as he embarks on yet another round of making America great again. Get ready for a front row seat to all the political drama, social shifts, and Trump-isms you can handle. Don't forget to subscribe for free and click the notification bell for updates on future videos. In case you've somehow missed the recent media circus, let's introduce you to Congress's chief bathroom bouncer, who is more ferocious than Lizzo guarding a stash of donuts from a pack of hungry honey badgers, none other than Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Yep, she's making waves, sparking debates, and keeping the Capitol about as calm as a karaoke night in Las Vegas with Charlie Sheen. In order to illustrate how Congresswoman Mace doesn't take shit from anybody, check out this clip, where Nancy grills the disgraced former director of the Secret Service Kim Cheadle like she's hosting a roast, instead of a congressional hearing. Mace is firing off questions about why, under the agency's watchful eye, there was an attempted assassination of Donald Trump at a Pennsylvania rally. With the ex-director looking as comfortable as a cat in a room full of Rottweilers, Mace doesn't let up. She's laser-focused on digging into every oversight and every slip-up, all with the intensity of a detective on a TV drama. Safe to say, Nancy Mace doesn't come to play, she comes to dismantle.
So, Director Cheadle, both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
The answer is yes.
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question. Yes or no?
Should I say yes? Just say yes.
I have admitted this is a terrible...
This is a yes or no series of questions.
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
Was this a colossal failure? Yes or no?
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Finally.
Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
Oh, Lord, here we go again.
Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of shit today. You're just being completely dishonest. Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Chairman.
She's fucking awesome.
Now let's meet Sarah Elizabeth McBride, the American activist and politician who is the U.S. representative-elect for Delaware's at-large congressional district. A member of the Democratic Party, Sarah has served in the Delaware Senate since January 2021, representing the state's 1st Senate district. Prior to this, Sarah was the National Press Secretary of the Human Rights Campaign from 2016 to 2021. As the first openly transgender state senator in the country, Sarah McBride is the highest-ranking openly transgender elected official in United States history. Sarah's appointment was bound to ruffle a few conservative feathers, and unsurprisingly McBride has landed at the center of debate over what bathroom transgender people should be allowed to use on Capitol Hill. Congresswoman Nancy Mace recently introduced legislation that bars transgender women from using the women's restroom, and soon after Speaker Mike Johnson announced he would enforce it.
Unequivocally clear, a man is a man and a woman is a woman, and a man cannot become a woman. That said, I also believe, that's what Scripture teaches, what I just said, but I also believe that we treat everybody with dignity, and so we can do and believe all those things at the same time, and I wanted to make that clear for everybody because there's lots of questions, but that's where I stand. I've stood there my whole life, and those are facts.
The political shitstorm on Capitol Hill shows no signs of slowing down, as Representative Nancy Mace takes a firm stand on protecting women's spaces, describing her opposition as a defense against chicks with dicks. This intense battle over gender policies, that resembles a Game of Thrones in Washington, is likely to continue for some time. Pun intended. Let's dive into some of the powerful statements, heated interviews, and notable confrontations that Mace has been involved in over the past week.
So as far as dignity and respect go, I'm wondering, Congresswoman, how have you been treated after introducing this resolution?
A very interesting question. So the height of hypocrisy, the height of gaslighting, they're threatening to kill me now because I, as a woman, am standing up to protect other women from men being in our private spaces, our restrooms, bathrooms, locker rooms, changing rooms, you name it. And so now they're threatening to kill me over this. I'm being bullied online. But what they forget is that, Laura, I'm the first woman to graduate from the Citadel, the Military College of South Carolina. I will not be bullied into silence. I will not back down. And in fact, I'm going to double down on this. And I'm going to file even more legislation to protect women beyond the Capitol, across every state in the nation. Because the simple question is, do women have rights or not? It's a very simple question.
I dare you to try and stop me from going into a women's bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. I dare you to try and stop a transgender woman in my presence from using the bathroom. It will be the last mistake you ever make. This is a call to action and a call to arms to everybody within the United States that are scared, worried, have children that are transgender, lesbian, bi, or gay. This is a call to action. You need to arm up. Plain and simple. Go out, buy a gun. Learn how to use it efficiently, through and through. Because the time to act is now. You need to protect yourself, and you need to protect your fellow transgender brothers and sisters and theys and thems. You need to protect the rest of us in the LGBT community, as I'm going to do myself. I do not fear Christians, I do not fear conservatives, I do not fear evangelicals, and I do not fear Republicans. They just talk a big game. That's all they do. But heaven forbid you do something in my presence. You're going to know what fear actually feels like.
No men allowed in women's bathrooms, period. Seems simple enough, but not for the incoming Delaware Congress member who calls himself Sarah. His parents named him Tim. Here he is masquerading as a woman in a 2023 campaign video.
One of the questions that I get asked the most is, what does it take to make government work better for people? Some people say it's compassion for others, a willingness to work with anyone, or having a thick skin.
Oh, man, there's just something about somebody that wants us all to agree with their mental illness. This week, South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace proposed a bill to keep men like McBride out of female congressional bathrooms and locker rooms. And when asked about it by a fake news reporter, she stood her ground.
I'm not going to allow biological men into women's private spaces. I will stand in the brink and stand in the way of anyone on the radical left who thinks that it's okay for a penis to be in a women's locker room or a bathroom or a changing room. Hell no. I am not going to stand for it.
Boom! That's exactly what I'm talking about. Do you agree with a man with a penis going into a woman or girl's locker room? You are the insane one. And if you're watching the legacy media out there, well, they're probably agreeing with that reporter instead of agreeing with people that have common sense.
I am a woman, and I use the women's restroom. And I guarantee you, not one of you will stop me.
Hey guys, I am at the airport making my way back home to the Low Country in South Carolina. I just spoke at an event with a couple hundred people. Some trans lunatic tried to rush the stage and attack me. And he is just making the case for me that we don't want penises in women's spaces. F off. And I just had a woman come up to me and get in my face about it, and I told her to F right off. I'm not going to tolerate it, and I'm going to fight harder and bigger than ever before. I will be the giant you can't take out, and you can't bully me into submission.
responsibilities too. Ro and I.
I'm sorry. You're living with that in real time right now. This is ridiculous. It is the day after Trans Day of Visibility. We have had dozens of trans people die this year because of the hate and lies that you are spreading. And if we want an internet, are we building an internet with free speech for everyone or just the privileged few? Are you going to stand up for the lives of trans people, black and brown people? Are we fighting for justice or are we fighting for big tech?
We respect freedom of speech.
God loves him. I love
That's
him,
right.
but his penis isn't going to be in my bathroom. So
This video goes out to Congresswoman Nancy Mace. Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I hope that one day I do find you in that woman's bathroom and I grab your ratty looking fucking hair and drag your face down to the floor while I repeatedly bash it in until the blood's everywhere and you're dead. Thank you. I hope that Nancy Mace receives this message well. Kisses.
Man. I'm a survivor of rape. I was raped at the age of 16. And about a year ago, I had a deeply traumatic experience. And I was diagnosed with PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder from abuse that I suffered at the hands of a man. And I've lost 30 pounds over the course of the last 12 months. This weekend, in fact, I moved for the 4th time in a year. And so I have suffered the consequences of abuse. And I know firsthand how women's private spaces should be just for women. Rape victims like myself, or any woman for that matter, should not be forced to undress in front of men. And that's what the insanity of the left, that's what their policies are causing, not just on Capitol Hill, but all across the country, in schools, in locker rooms, dressing rooms, bathrooms. This is happening everywhere. And we have to put a line in the sand, big, fat, bold, red line, and say, hell no, no more. Like, I am going to fight like hell for this. I don't want chicks with dicks in my bathroom, in my dressing room. I don't want to be forced to change in front of a man, period. And it's a trigger for me. And I absolutely am going to go to the mat for women and girls everywhere and put a stop to it.
You know, your critics say when you use phrases like chicks with dicks, you're being deliberately inflammatory and you're fueling transphobia, that you have essentially a hatred of trans people. What would you say to them?
I would say they're completely off the rails. They're worried about feelings and not facts. And the facts are, Pierce, I voted for gay marriage not once, but twice. I have co-sponsored legislation to protect the rights of those in the LGBTQ community. But I draw a line, the insanity of the left that thinks it's okay for a man and his penis to be in our private spaces. And look, Pierce, I was receiving hundreds of death threats a day last week. I got over 1,000 death threats. I've had to increase my security. Some guy tried to rush the stage last week trying to get at me. I've had multiple people in front of Capitol Police that were guarding me come up to me and try to verbally or physically accost me over the last couple of days. The fact that you're willing to kill a woman over her right to privacy it's insanity. And I feel like the more that they come after me, the harder I'm going to fight back, the harder I'm going to push back. It's rabid insanity.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for free by clicking the button below. Watch out for more updates on American politics as we cover the next 4 years of Donald Trump's presidency. And before you go, check out these clips showcasing support for Congresswoman Nancy Mace's crusade to protect women's spaces.
I don't understand why Congresswoman Mace's safety and privacy is being called into question. Like, she's a victim and she has reasons for wanting only biological women to use the bathroom at the U.S. Congress. Like, this is not a direct attack at Sarah McBride. This is just her own safety and feelings. Look, I'm a trans woman. And if Congresswoman Mace didn't want me to use the same changing rooms and bathrooms as her, which she obviously doesn't, I respect that. Like, you must respect people for their wants. And this is not an attack. It's coming from a place of lived experience of hers. And I held off a little while on making this video because I wanted to get all the facts. But after learning about her story and what she's been through, these are valid reasons for her to want only women in the women's bathroom. And again, This Sarah McBride has a private bathroom. There are gender-neutral bathrooms at the U.S. House, so I don't understand why this is such a big deal. She wants safety and privacy in women's spaces. That's it. Hang out and stay tuned for more from an educated, clear-thinking trans woman.
I just wanted to take a minute and say how profoundly grateful I am to Nancy Mace for standing up for women and girls in America. The amount of death threats and rape threats and disgusting comments directed towards women like Nancy, women like us, women like me, who dare to tell these men no. I joke about it all the time. I post them, I read them with, I try and maintain that attitude of go fuck yourselves, but I would be lying if I said that I didn't live with an added level of fear in my life since I started speaking out. And I think that fear is what keeps so many other women from speaking out as well. Women deserve so much better than to be told that we don't exist, that men like Timothy McBride are just as biologically female as we are, and they can get to fuck. Don't get me wrong. But it is so refreshing to see a woman in power just unequivocally say no. And I very much hope that her bravery is catching and that more American women start speaking up and saying no. Thank you, Nancy, from the bottom of my heart. We've got your back, and keep holding that line.